We'll zoom you in right now to give you a really good look at where the possible tornado is at this point, and it's right over Reading. Sometimes lightning jumps cloud to cloud. Other times it's cloud to ground. That's exactly where we are, Route 17 in Portland. This is closed for about a mile stretch. Without the investment in snowmaking, a season like this one would be impossible. There will be some places that get over 5 inches of rain, and that does really increase the flood risk, and it looks like it'll be in this zone here. As I mentioned, about an hour and 45 minutes out from high tide, but the water here is really high. It is splashing up against these homes. Out here in a snow globe this morning. Good to be with you this morning. It has been a wild few hours. We are entering the 3rd week of this Canadian wildfire smoke blowing across our skies. This is not the first time this town has looked like this. Back in 2011, Tropical Storm Irene caused similar damage in this same spot.
Now, the Fox 61 Weather Watch with meteorologist Ryan Breton.
It's not going to be a fun drive home tonight.
It won't be.
Yeah.
And the weather tomorrow is going to be kind of interesting in that around like 7 or 8 in the morning, that may actually be the high temperature for the day. And then it will get colder in the afternoon.
So what's the high temperature going to be?
35, 36.
Okay.
And then later in the day, we drop into the upper 20s.
Oh, okay.
So that means if there's slush around in the morning,
it'll freeze over.
Gonna want to get rid of it before it can freeze.
Put on my ice skates for
There
tomorrow.
we go. I like that. Take a look outside tonight, Carmen. We are so happy for all of the local ski areas. They can make snow, but there's nothing like a good old-fashioned snowstorm, and that's what we have tonight at New Hartford. It took until this point in the winter to get anything substantial, but it's coming down at a really good clip there, an inch or maybe even an inch and a half per hour right now in western and northwestern Connecticut. We're in the thick of this with moderate to heavy snow through about 2 in the morning. Then we have a bit of a lull after about 2 a.m. through mid-morning with lighter snow and maybe even some mixing with rain in southern parts of the state. Then as the temperatures drop, we'll have some extra snow that comes in late morning, early afternoon tomorrow with some additional accumulation, and the temperatures will be dropping. So whatever is out there will be freezing up tomorrow afternoon. Very heavy snow, though, within this band of snow over northwest Connecticut right now. The dark blues around New Milford, Torrington, headed into Bristol and Waterbury. This may be dropping an inch or 2 in just 1 hour. So very heavy snow all through this region, headed up through Canton, Avon, Farmington, and Simsbury as well. We have moderate to heavy snow right in the Hartford area. Meriden, New Britain getting into the moderate and heavy snow as well. It's a little bit lighter toward New Haven, but still a good burst of snow coming through there as well. Another band kind of setting up to the south of Haddam, headed toward Norwich, and then another one just on the southeast shoreline. Right now the rain-snow line is just offshore, but we think it'll move inland later in the storm. Northeast Connecticut, we have moderate to heavy snow just about everywhere, all painted in this solid blue over the quiet corner right now. It's 26 in Torrington, 29 in Bristol, but 32 in Hartford and Wallingford, 32 in Hamden, and 35 in New Haven. So it's a wetter snow the farther south you get, and a bit fluffier up here in northwest Connecticut, and that's why we expect the highest totals to be there. There's actually some thunderstorm action offshore, but a bit of a break in the precipitation developing south of New York City. This will be coming up later tonight, which is why we expect that lull in the action. And then on the backside of the storm tomorrow, as the temperatures drop, we'll see another round of snow develop during the day. So it's nasty out there now with snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour in spots. But after about 2 a.m., the snow does tend to lighten up. Still snowing in northern Connecticut, but maybe even a bit of mixing in southern areas. This is when the high temperature will be tomorrow, early in the day, and once the wind starts to shift and come in out of the north and northwest, temperatures all across the state will begin dropping, and that's when we may see one last round of snow midday tomorrow. So expect changing conditions through the midday. Anything that's wet will be icing over as the temperatures drop, and certainly by tomorrow evening, even with the storm over, there will be icy spots lingering after the snow completely ends by about 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow tomorrow evening. 8 to 12 inches of snow from Wolcott up through Canton, Avon, Simsbury into the Litchfield Hills. That's the jackpot. But elsewhere, widespread 4 to 8 inches of snow, and there could even be a localized spot around Tolland or the Northeast Hills that picks up 9 or 10. Southern Connecticut, where it's a wetter, heavier snow, not as much. Generally 2 to 4 inches, maybe just a bit less than that on the southeast shoreline. There's the trend in the temperatures tomorrow, which is why there may still be some icy spots out there tomorrow evening after the storm moves away. There's also a coastal flood advisory for the shoreline. Could be some minor flooding that happens around the time of high tide early tomorrow morning. Monday's weather looks fine, but I want to quickly show you we have another storm coming. This is a very active weather pattern, and unfortunately this next storm likely has a lot of rain and wind, potential flooding and power outages Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. We already have a weather watch alert for that storm. Then after it moves by, we may get a break for a couple of days before another storm next weekend. But this one probably looks like the snowiest, at least as we see it now. Temperatures will be back up into the 50s on Wednesday with that rain and wind moving through. So we're concerned about some flooding and power outages with that next storm. And hi everybody, it's a Friday afternoon heading into the weekend, and we are on the weather watch at least through this evening. A severe thunderstorm watch up until 8 o'clock, and there's a flash flood warning for the Hartford area. But once we get this out of here, we have a beautiful weekend with a lower humidity on the way. Here's a look at the radar right now. Flash flood warning includes most of the Hartford metro area from Farmington to New Britain, Newington, Rocky Hill, Glastonbury over to East Hartford and Manchester. We had some very heavy rain move through this region in the last two or three hours, and now there's another downpour coming out of Newington New Britain, and this is going to move over basically the same areas and could cause some additional flash flooding. There are also some scattered storms popping up in other parts of the state. You can see around Waterbury coming in off the shoreline, but the strongest storm right now is moving through northeast Connecticut. A ton of lightning with this coming out of Mansfield and Chaplin, and maybe even a little bit of hail as well. We'll zoom you into the core of the storm, which is right over Chaplin right now. You can see the dark reds, a little bit of purples here too to the north of Route 6. This is where there could be some hail. The radar actually estimating perhaps hail of 3/4 to an inch in diameter going right through Chaplin. And putting the tracker on this storm is moving to the east into the Quiet Corner, heading into Danielson and Killingly in the next half hour. But that's not it. A new storm forming in the last 30 minutes or so right around Waterbury and Middlebury. Some thunder, lightning, and very heavy rain here affecting the I-84 corridor from Waterbury south towards Southbury. New Haven right now, West Haven, Hamden, no problems. But on the other side of New Haven, we have another band of showers, downpours, and thunderstorms coming out of Clinton, Old Saybrook, moving into Essex and Lyme. Some very heavy rain, thunder, and lightning within this line too. And estimating the track of this puts it into Salem around 5:33, Colchester about 5:45, and if it holds together, getting into Franklin closer to 6 o'clock. So in some places it's not raining, and other places it's pouring. But the good news is once we get this front through, the air will clean out, and we have a great weekend ahead the next couple of days. So right now it's 70 in Hartford where the rain has cooled the air, but still 82 in New Haven. The dew points are up, especially in eastern Connecticut. Dew points still in the 70s, but look at western parts of the state now dropping into the mid 60s. That's a sign of things to come. The air will be much more comfortable tomorrow, and that actually continues into Sunday too. So the rain will end tonight. We'll start to clear out. Temperatures dropping down into the 60s by morning. A beautiful day ahead tomorrow. Mostly sunny, a dry day, and less humid with high temperatures between about 80 and 85 degrees across the state. There still will be a few lingering showers and storms through about 9 or 10 o'clock. And then once we get toward and after midnight, this action weakens and moves away. A beauty of a day ahead tomorrow, whether you're headed to the beach, doing some boating, just be careful with all the debris still in Long Island Sound. But a good looking day tomorrow, and we get a repeat on Sunday with high temperatures in the mid 80s and plenty of sunshine. This is actually the first dry weekend since I believe Memorial Day. So get outside and enjoy it. And overall, the forecast heading into next week is looking pretty good. Dry for Monday, a few isolated storms Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, but much better than what we've had recently.